Chunks of life, passion, entertainment, relationships, more chunks, TV. It was after I'd broken up with an ex that I thought, you know, this is what I prayed for. Within that year, I decided, okay, I need to filter out whatever is fueling the obsession with relationships and marriage. People don't realize how powerful social media is, and it's crazy because that same pressure is never placed on men. Wholeness as a being is definitely found in the things that you were called to do. Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel once again, and welcome to another installment of Chit Chat with Chunky, where we get real about life situations and I give you guys a bit of advice as well. So today's video, as you can see from the title, we're about to talk about a situation that kind of, I don't want to really call it a situation, but a decision I kind of made I think about 2 years ago. And before I go on, I do want to give a little disclaimer. The platform BellaNaija is amazing, as well as the others. Ashobi, Bella, and all of that, they're doing an amazing job. I'm speaking about all the ones that report weddings and Nigerian weddings in particular. I think they're doing an amazing job. This is not a video to spark any hatred towards them. This is not a video to kind of gun them down. No. Their work is fantastic. But I had to make a personal decision about where I was in my life and where I wanted to be, and as part of my decision making to filter out certain things that were starting to affect me mentally, one of the things I had to do was unfollow BellaNaija, as much as I love them. Let's just jump straight into this video. So I unfollowed BellaNaija about 2 years ago, as I mentioned, as well as other similar pages, and this kind of took place around the time that I made a decision to, not necessarily made, but life kind of made a decision for me. It was after I'd broken up with an ex that I thought, you know, this is what I prayed for. You know, them ones where you feel like God has answered your prayers and God has brought you the person based on the requirements that you gave him. In my head, the search had ended and, you know, God had brought me my happily ever after. But that relationship ended, and that was a year where I developed anxiety, not just as a result of the relationship ending, but a couple of other failures that took place, which I spoke about in my university testimony. You guys can go and check that out. So I was in a really bad place, and I kind of said to God, okay, right, there have been a series of bad relationships, and I think at this point I've just kind of had it, and I just want to partner with you, God, for a while. I just want to partner with you. I want to forget about relationships and finding the one for a moment. I want to forget about guys and just focus on my relationship with you, God. And I just want to figure out what exactly you want for me, and then allow you to guide my footsteps in everything I do, not just in regards to relationships, but to guide my footsteps in everything I do. So I kind of made that decision, and that was what I described as my year of singleness. You guys who followed my project, my little project that I did last year, 14 Days of Love, will understand that I was on a season of singleness for about a year, which kind of ended when God kind of started allowing certain people to walk into my life. Within that year, I decided, okay, I need to filter out whatever is fueling the obsession with relationships and marriage and love and finding the one and all of that kind of stuff. Like, I just realized that BellaNaija, they're really good at what they do, in a sense that you will see at least 5 posts every day. There will be a love story, there will be a that will make you go, oh, I really want that. But I just found myself getting to a place where I was starting to obsess, and that is never healthy. And it's nice to aspire to good things and be inspired by other people's stories. Like I mentioned, obsession was starting to set in, and I just realized that, secondly, my priorities were very misplaced. I was in second year of university, and uni was starting to get tough in the sense that I had like 9 to 5s every day, and the weekend was the only time that I could relax. And even relaxing meant maybe just I had my own time to do my own work and at my own pace. So me obsessing or praying and hoping for a relationship was probably not what I should have been going for at that time in my life anyway. I mean, at the back of your head, no one says it's a bad idea to pray for your husband and what you kind of want in life, but when it becomes an obsession, it definitely becomes a problem. And I feel like for me, it definitely became an idol. And that is something that a lot of young girls, especially Christian girls, definitely need to watch out for, that your quest for love, has that actually become an idol in your life, in the sense that you wake up in the morning and the first thing you ask God for is to bring you your husband. You haven't asked God to work on your character. You haven't asked God to reveal your purpose in life. You haven't asked God to protect your family. Everything is my husband, my husband, my husband. I found myself getting to that stage and I really had to retreat and take a step back. So one of the things that did have to get filtered out is all these things on my Instagram page. And people don't realize how powerful social media is. Like, people always try to like play it like it's nothing, and yeah, I can see all these things and it won't affect me. Yeah, definitely there are probably some people that will see 10 marriage posts and it won't affect them, even though they're a single man or woman. It might not affect them, but it definitely affected me. And this is why this was a personal decision, and it's about individuality as well. Definitely at that stage where my mind is still quite young. And honestly, as a young adult, I feel like our minds are like sponges, and what we take in and what we put out, what we feed our soul, definitely slowly starts to condition the way we think, the ideas we have about life, and the way we relate with other people. And as a Christian, yes, marriage is the end goal. You don't just date to date. When you start obsessing with marriage, what I found was that I was choking the fun out of dating, in a sense that maybe a guy would come into my life and I'd already be placing so much pressure and emphasis on marriage, not even in the things I say, but the way I act. I would already start behaving like a wife, even though we're still just in the talking stage. I would already be asking him where he is and expecting to be filled in, just having so much expectation, and almost starting to behave like I'm in a marriage when the relationship ain't even official yet. You see how crazy it can be. And one thing I realized as well in my dating journey so far and through my season of singleness, some of the things that God kind of revealed to me is that men can definitely sense desperacy. And when the desperacy is fueled by social media as well, it sounds so silly, but it's real. A lot of females, people in general now, want so many things and they want it right now. They don't want the process because they're so accustomed to seeing these things on social media. People share their success stories, but I'm telling you, there's so many things. There's only so much you can say about your success story. So many things we've missed out. Even all these love stories, they're not gonna come and say, oh, we fought 17 times before he proposed. Or they're not gonna say, oh, I caught him cheating with a girl, or I caught her cheating with her ex, or I did this, or did that, or she emotionally abused me, but we got over it. No one's gonna say those parts of their story. They're kind of just gonna skim over it and say things like, oh, it's not been an easy journey. And you kind of just, you forget that bit as well. So I feel like we forget that what people put out there on social media is never the full picture, and we do fall into the trap of saying things like, oh, I really want that, or I would like to have a love like that. But meanwhile, if you really knew what that love was, you will run and thank God that you're still on your own for now. I'm a Nigerian, and I definitely feel like amongst Nigerians there is that obsession with marriage, and that's only been fueled further, or the ideology has only been pushed further by social media networks. Everything is so close now. Things that used to be so far away and we would think, okay, I want to achieve this by maybe like 25, just because you see somebody and there's this over familiarity as well. It's so close to home. I don't know if I'm kind of making sense, that you feel like you should have it right now. Amongst Nigerian families and Nigerian culture, definitely if a woman is 25 and she's showing no signs of being in a relationship or being hollered at by guys, or you know, and she's so focused on her career and all of that, or anything but a relationship, there's something wrong with her. It could be spiritually, it could be physically. They just always feel like something's wrong somewhere. And yes, something could be wrong somewhere, but I feel like that is not the case for everyone. And I feel like when they start pressuring, once you hit 26, okay girl, 27, right, we might have to get some pastors in. 29, ooh, are you sure? 30, girl, you need to get a move on. And it's crazy because that same pressure is never placed on men, because they always feel like men will find it anyway, because men go out to find wives, but women kind of have to be chosen in this world. So they never place that same emphasis on a guy finding a wife. A guy can be 40 and can still get married, blah, 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 blah. And whilst the Bible does say be fruitful and multiply, and it's only right, well, it's better to do that within the confines of marriage, I think what a lot of Nigerians need to understand is that God's timing might be so different from what we had in mind for like our daughters and for our sons, and we need to be okay with that. We need to be okay with trusting that. And now even parents are on social media. They want their kids as well to have their own glamorous wedding, and it's all image. A lot of it is image, just gathering people together to impress them, when at the end of the day, once the wedding ceremony is over, you've got the marriage and it's just you and your partner. And that's another thing as well. I feel like, yes, sometimes they do tell stories on these platforms about how the marriage is going and stuff like that, but it is only that snippet of the ceremony, which is not a bad thing. But what it does to people like who I was 2 years ago is that it kind of places this idea of the glamour of marriages, and it forgets that, okay, yes, relationships might be hard work, but marriages are not all bliss. Like there will be moments where you have to fight for your partner, and there will be moments where you have to work through really, really difficult times. Everyone thinks they're going to marry an oil tycoon because of certain platforms. Everyone thinks they're going to marry a rich man. Everyone feels like everything is just going to be so good and perfect and they're going to have kids straight away after getting married. But we forget that everyone has a different destiny, and everyone's story has been written very differently, so uniquely, and planned and proposed so perfectly by God according to his will for your life. So just because this person got married at 23 to an oil tycoon and she's set for life, supposedly, you never know what can happen tomorrow, but that's besides the point. So people are now rejecting genuinely good guys because they don't measure up, and they won't have that glamorous wedding that they had dreamed of and hoped for from seeing certain things on social media. It's crazy, right? And this is what I mean, like, if you have conversations with people, like, you'll realize that what I am saying is so true, and it's not far-fetched at all. Like, it's so close to home, and this is how people think because of social media and because of the already ingrained mentality, like, in our cultures. I'm sure other African countries probably deal with the same kind of issues, but I'm just speaking from the perspective of being a Nigerian woman. Living in the UK, perhaps, like, people are more open-minded, but I definitely feel the pressure. Like, I am 22, just turned, and I do already feel the pressure because I've just graduated, and after so many years of being told, run away from boys, don't let boys touch you, it's now, where's your husband, or how's your boyfriend, and all these invasive questions, and then I have to explain to them that, okay, I'm not there right now and I'm just focusing on my brand. You know, those conversations can go left really quickly. And for me as well, it can be quite difficult because my younger sister is in a serious relationship, and so people are kind of mounting that kind of pressure on me, like, your younger sister, like, come on, you need to get a move on. And again, it's those kind of things, it just perpetuates like bad feelings in you. I don't want to have bad feelings about my sister and her relationship. Like, I'm happy for them, but then when certain people say certain things to you, it makes you think twice about like your feelings. No, I want to be happy for them, and I believe when it's the right time, God will bring me my king. And I do want to just use that to like encourage like Nigerian women out there that are feeling the pressure. Maybe you're about to hit 30. I'm only 22 and I'm feeling pressure. I can't imagine like 8 years of pressure. Just be your own woman. I feel like I've definitely gotten to a stage now where I could probably follow BellaNaija and not feel some type of way. I've come to a realization and a place of wholeness in Christ, where like anything else that comes extra or outside of my relationship with Christ is just something that complements me rather than completes me. But I really don't see myself following those kind of platforms until maybe like I'm about to get married, when I'm at that stage where I need to be, again, I don't want all the work I've kind of done on myself with the help of God to kind of go back, to kind of be ruined, if that makes sense. We need more spaces for like entrepreneurs, and I'm actually working on a project that's gonna fuel that. Things that people are doing out there in their career fields, people that are in school. It's called The Hub, so definitely look out for that. I definitely want to push a purpose-driven mindset and drill that into this generation. Out of your relationship with God, the next thing should be your purpose and what God has called you on this earth to do. And until you figure that out, it actually can be quite difficult to find a partner for your partner to find you, because your purpose is what you're called to be, if that makes sense. And if you're not yet in that, how can you then align with somebody else that's meant to complement you with their purpose and you guys both fuel something together. So that's definitely like food for thought. Wholeness as a being is definitely found in the things that you were called to do. I don't want to say it distracts you, but it definitely keeps you busy, so you stop obsessing over the little things. And something I will always try and hone into people is that there's a final picture of how God wants your life to be, and you'll never see the full picture. You only see little snippets, and little snippets can only be revealed as you keep going. It never stops. It's not a destination, it's a journey. It might be that you're destined to marry at 27. It might be that you're destined to marry at 21. It might be that you're destined to be a CEO by 21 and then marry, or marry and then be a CEO. Like, it really, everyone's journeys are so different and unique. So like I said, BellaNaija are doing a great job, but that, as well as certain other things, were feeding my obsession with marriage. And I'm really glad that I kind of broke out of that and I just started living life for what life is. So yeah guys, that's all I have for you on this topic. Very random, but I think timely video. Make sure you like this video if you liked it, share it with your friends, comment down below on the things I spoke about, and subscribe to my channel for more. Until next time guys, peace and love, peace and chunks.